Greetings, Rabbi Boxt here, back with my Parashat Hashavua Torah commentary, the Torah portion commentary for the week. I know we've been gone for a few weeks, but I'm back, and we're in Parashat Emor from the book of Leviticus, chapter 21, 1 through chapter 24, 23. And what I'll do is I'll give a brief overview or outline of the chapter and then of the Parsha, and then I'm going to go to one particular area that I want to spend a couple minutes focusing on. So, the Parashat Emor is preserving the holiness of priests, times, and spaces, or space. And the outline is this. The first section is holiness and worship, regulation for the priest's holiness and for the offerings, for the priest's families, for the chief priests, including the choice of a wife, regulations for disqualified priests, for sacred food, for blemished sacrificial animals, and then a concluding section there as well. The second section is sacred times, regulations for the Sabbath and festivals. The third section deals with the tabernacle. And then the fourth section, which is the section I'd like to focus on today, is the case of the blasphemer. The story of the blasphemer, the retaliation laws, lex talionis. We first came across these laws in Exodus, and it's back, and then the punishment of the blasphemer. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn to chapter 24 of Leviticus, and this is chapter 24. This is where verse 10. This is the story. There came out among the Israelites a man whose mother was Israelite and whose father was Egyptian. And a fight broke out in the camp between that half Israelite and a certain Israelite man. The son of the Israelite woman pronounced the name in blasphemy and was brought to Moses. Now his mother's name was Shlomit, daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan. And he was placed in custody until the decision of Adonai should be made clear to him, or to them. And Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the blasphemer outside the camp, and let all who were within hearing lay their hands upon his head, and let the community leadership stone him." And to the Israelite people, God said to Moses, "Speak this, saying this, anyone who blasphemes God's name shall bear the guilt, and one who also pronounces the name shall be put to death. The community leadership shall stone that person, stranger or citizen, having thus pronounced the name shall be put to death. If anyone kills any human being, that person shall be put to death. One who kills a beast shall make restitution for it, a life for a life. If anyone maims another person, what was done shall be done in return. Fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. The injury inflicted on a human being shall be inflicted in return. One who kills a beast shall make restitution for it, but one who kills a human being shall be put to death. You shall have one standard for stranger and citizen alike, for I, Adonai, am your God." Now, the idea of lex talionis, an eye for an eye, we're talking about with regards to humans. If I accidentally hurt someone's eye, they can then accidentally hurt my eye. If I kill someone, then I'm to be killed. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Now, with regards to animals, the restitution, it still has to be made. If I were to kill someone's animal, then I would have restitution to make, and that is not exactly, it's explained life for life as well, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. But what's interesting is we're talking about the name of God, what it means to blaspheme God's name. So, in biblical times, even up to the second temple being destroyed, we had a priesthood, and the high priest would go into the Holy of Holies once a year and whisper God's name 3 times in looking for expiation for the sins of the people. We don't have a priesthood anymore. We don't have a Holy of Holies. Therefore, we have God's name, Yud He Vav He, but we don't know how to pronounce it because it was the name. The way to pronounce that name was not sent down through time. We didn't receive that from our ancestors. So when someone pronounces Yud He Vav He, whether they're saying Yahweh or Yahweh or Jehovah or Yehovah, it's it's not necessarily blasphemy because we don't really know how to pronounce that God's name. Not that God. We don't have to pronounce that name of God. But it can be seen, it's controversial at least, and offensive to some people as well. So whenever we're talking to somebody and they use one of those terms, I always say, we really don't know how to pronounce that God's name. So we say Adonai, or we say, Hashem, or whatever, because we don't know how to pronounce Hashem, meaning the name. We don't know how to pronounce it. I'm a huge U2 fan, and they have a song on one of their albums called Yahweh. And it's a beautiful song, but I really don't like the name because we don't know how to pronounce God's name. So if I ever were to see Bono, I would and have a conversation with him, at some point I might say to him, hey, we don't pronounce that name. But that's besides the point. But blasphemy is something different. That's the pronunciation of the name. Blasphemy also means speaking God's name with ill will or in vain. That's something different. But since we don't know how to pronounce God's name, it's not exactly, it's also complicated, much like a lot of things in Judaism. So that's this week's Torah portion, Parashat Emor. I look forward to seeing you at services, and I look forward to being with you soon. Shabbat Shalom.